My name is Craig Savage. I'm 51 and I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'll tell you what drives me. I'm haunted by almosts. In my sports career, I had a number of them. There was so many times where I was like, you're this close to that breakthrough. And I don't know if I'll ever get that big one. I want to get back to the main event. I want a circuit ring. I want something. I have one live tournament win. I do think I am at a stage where I'm kind of ready to take another step in that. I think there's another gear that I can get into with my playing and with my studying and with my ability.
And fireworks here, ace, king, and queens. Tony Harrison is going to raise to $6 million. And now Craig Savage announces $12 million. A very quick shove from Tony Harrison, and Craig Savage makes the call. A flip for the WSOP bracelet in the 2025 $500 freeze out. Here comes the flop.
This is what life on the grind looks like after a late night celebrating, which meant going back to the condo and eating ice cream. We woke up late this morning, got in a really, really short workout, but we broke a sweat, and now we're headed back over to the WSOP for the $500 freeze out. But yeah, this is what the grind looks like. You just keep going, keep going.
When I put my schedule on, the WSOP 500 freeze out was a tournament I had on my list, but it was kind of a backup plan. I actually put in there as a potential day off. I like to put a couple of spots in the schedule where if I'm feeling like it's a grind or I'm tired, that I can take a day off. And it was a really good day to take off because one of the events I was looking forward to, just to have fun, was the WSOP tag team event. But if you played the freeze out, day 2 of the freeze out was the day 1 of the tag team. So I didn't want to play the freeze out. I don't want to jeopardize not playing the tag team. But Day says, look, why don't we do this? We'll both play the freeze out. Obviously, we both make day 2 of the freeze out. We don't play the tag team. If one of us makes day 2 of the freeze out, one of us doesn't, we'll go ahead and register for the tag team. And the one that's not in day 2 of the freeze out will start play. And then whenever someone busts, the other person busts the freeze out, they'll come into play.
I made him play it. He was not going to play it. And I told him, this is going to be the best ROI of any tournament this summer that we play.
So we registered for the freeze out. On the first break, you know, my chip stack is not great. I'm looking at a field of, thousands and thousands of people, and I'm kind of annoyed that I even spent the $500.
All right, well, on the first break of the freeze out at the WSOP, nothing much to speak about. Been pretty card dead, but we're still on starting stack, so that's okay. But my table is lively, a lot of good folks, good conversation, and after the break, we'll start to build a stack.
And we're on break, and I say to Day, this tournament is stupid. This is a stupid tournament. Why are we playing this stupid tournament?
I still remember that first break. We met up after the first break of the freeze out. And he said, Day, why the hell am I playing this? There's 4,000 people.
And she says, Craig, it's a $500 buy-in where they're going to have over $2 million in the prize pool. And I was like, yeah, I don't care.
And I said, yeah, but the prize is going to be over 200K for first. And he said, yeah, but who's going to win it?
And she's like, well, somebody's going to win. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, really, who? And she said, you are going to thank me when you win.
Okay, we've been grinding a short stack all day. We made the dinner break of the 500 freeze out. We're still short stacked, but hey, we'll just be short stacked the whole tournament. As long as we have chips at the end, that'll be fine. But we're making progress. A lot of people have busted this tournament. I don't think it's gonna be that long after the dinner break that we hit the money, so we just gotta hang in there.
So we played the freeze out, and I was short stacked, and in level 10 of the freeze out, I looked down, I had half the starting stack. And I was like, when's this gonna end? Level 10 went really well. I think we went into level 11 with 3 starting stacks, and we had 30 big blinds, maybe 33 big blinds, I think, going into level 11, which is fine.
Okay, we're on the money bubble in the 500 freeze out. We have the stack that can get to the money for sure now. We just can't do anything dumb, but we're on the money bubble. We're gonna be playing hand for hand now, looking for another cash at the World Series.
The night ended, and I think I put 20 big blinds into the bag. I don't even remember. I'll have to go back and look at my notes. But I made day 2.
I am exhausted, but we put chips in the bag. We are on to day 2. It's our third day 2 of the trip. 5,082 people started this tournament. 215 are left. First place is over $200,000. We have a lot to do to get there, but we're giving ourselves a chance, and holy smokes, I'm tired. Funny thing is, I'm playing 2 tournaments tomorrow because I'm playing the tag team tomorrow. Luckily, I have a teammate, so Dave's gonna carry the load while I try to win this thing, and I'll jump over there and breaks and play some hands when I can. All right, after a really long day yesterday, we're up early, we're headed to the gym, we're gonna keep the routine. Yesterday was an uncomfortable day, and that's what you have to do. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. There were many times yesterday when my stack was at a level where most people would have just punted it off. I didn't do that. I decided to hang in there, play the stack I had, and survive. And that's what you have to do in poker tournaments. And you know, there's 211 people left between me and a big prize, and you know, my intention is to get to that final table and win. So we're gonna get ready, we're gonna go, and if we're uncomfortable, we're uncomfortable, but we're gonna chase the dream.
So Day did bust in day 1. She got unlucky. We went ahead and we registered for the tag team.
The plan was I would just play day 1 of the tag team until he busted day 2 of the freeze out.
All right, we're still alive with 90 people to go. We're getting there. We're still short stacked, but we've been short stacked the whole tournament, so we're not bothered by that. But we're gonna run over to Paris right now, see our teammate in the tag team, check in with Dave, maybe play a hand if we're near the blinds so we can make that qualifier, and then back over here to finish this thing out. So crazy, we're playing 2 tournaments at the same time, but the tag team has a teammate, so Dave's getting it done over there, but I'm gonna hustle over there and see how she's doing.
So I thought, okay, on the first break, I'm gonna run over to the tag team, play an orbit, and then run back. And it turned out that you couldn't have put our 2 tables further apart. I was in the horseshoe in the Thunderdome, and Dave was in Paris at the back wall. And so on the first break, I literally ran through the casino, through the smoke and people, all the way to Paris, and I got there, and she's on the button, and you have to play the blinds. So I wasn't gonna have time. So I ran all the way back, because I'm short stacked in the 500, so I can't miss a hand.
After a period of time, I busted. And I just headed right over. I felt horrible. I felt so guilty. I was like, oh my gosh, you know, we paid for this tag team. He didn't even get a hand in.
So we're out of the tag team. And Dave says, I'm gonna come over and rail.
I will never forget the moment in our group text that we found out that Day busted the tag team. Now, there's always been this running joke in our group that Day's the best rail.
And very shortly after that happened, I got all in with a pair of 3s that I jammed, and I got called by king, queen or something.
Craig was all in. And he was behind.
And there was a queen on the flop. And Day says, that's okay, a 3's coming. And a 3 came.
And I remember when he doubled, I walked over to where the table was and I said, I just want to let you all know I am the luckiest rail bird and none of you have a chance now.
And there was just this overwhelming sense. Me and Jay had it at the same time. We're texting each other, it's just like, man, Craig's gonna win this. Like, Day busted this in this bad spot. She took this horrible bad beat because she's supposed to be on the rail and something special is gonna happen today and Craig's gonna win. We had that thought at the exact same time.
All right, we're on the second break of the day. We started the day with 211 people left. We're down to 50. We're in the top 1% of the field. Don't have a lot of chips, but we've been that way the whole tournament, so we're staying positive and we're just gonna double and we're just gonna stay in this tournament. And we stay in this tournament, somebody's gotta have one chip at the end, and let's just hope it's me.
I mean, you know, every time we talked, oh, I have 12 big blinds, I have 15 big blinds, I have 9 big blinds. I mean, this guy never had a stack, so it's not like you're thinking, oh, well, he's gonna definitely make the final table. You're thinking, oh, I hope he can, you know, last a little longer, get a couple more pay jumps.
The entirety of day 2 of the freeze out, I never cracked 30 big blinds. So there's 27 people left and we're doing the redraw. And I looked at the room and I said, man, one of these 27 people is gonna win a bracelet. And then my thought was, well, shit, Craig, you could win a bracelet. And that was the first time it entered my head that I could win.
I had already made up my mind that he was going to win it. I know Craig is such an excellent player and so disciplined and so studied. I mean, he's got as good a shot as anybody to do it.
Okay, we're on dinner break. There are 17 people left in this bracelet event, in the freeze out. I have 9.3 million chips. I grinded the small stack all day, finally caught a little heat. I don't know where that puts us in the chip stack, but I know I'm 16 people from my first WSOP bracelet, and I can feel it. I got the best rail on the planet. I got the luckiest person on the rail, and
he's gonna win it.
We're gonna win. We might win. We're gonna try to win.
I started looking over at the main stage area, and you know, I've thought about it. I've thought about, man, how cool would it be to play at the feature table, and you're probably going to be there with like the Grinder or Negranu or somebody, because they're going to put you over there. And you know, I've never been there. I've always said to myself that if I got there, I wouldn't change my game. You know, I wouldn't let the moment get to me. It's just another poker hand. You know, you say that, and then when we got to 10 people and they consolidated us, they put us over on that table, and now you're there. You're in the Thunderdome and you're at the feature table. I was in a state of hyper focus where it almost like everything else disappeared. Like it all faded out into the background. We were 10-handed. It was an unofficial final table. And my first thought was, wow, this is a huge accomplishment. My first ever WSOP FT. But then I said, no, it's not an FT till 9 people. And there was one guy that was really short stacked. And so I said to myself, Craig, you really should not play a hand until that guy busts. But eventually the guy busted, we were 9-handed. So now another accomplishment has been achieved. You know, we've checked off another box. So then I said to myself, what's the next accomplishment? You know, forget winning. And so I looked at the payouts and I said to myself, if you can get 5th place, it'll be your biggest score ever. Well, that's the next goal.
It's hard to believe I'm in this spot. Final table at the WSOP, a ring on the line, 8 people left. Chasing the dream, guys. I'm chasing the dream. We're getting close. Man, we're gonna do this. I feel like we're gonna do this.
And then all of a sudden, people started falling away a little bit more quickly at this point. And so now we get to 5-handed. And now, again, the pressure's off. At this point, everything that happens is going to be the biggest thing that's ever happened to me in poker. And I never look back at the board. I never look back at what's the next payout. I don't know what fourth place paid. I don't know what third place paid. I don't know what second place paid. I didn't even know what first place was. At that point, I was just trying to win the tournament.
There were 4 people left, and Arthur Morris, who is a pro, who has been supposedly at 400 million final tables in his career or something like that.
The best player at the table, Arthur Morris. He has the chip lead. He has the most experience. He's got 3 guys that have less experience than him and less chips.
And he stood up, he walked over to his rail, which was right in front of where I was. And I heard him say, "I've over half the chips in play. This is locked. I've won it." And then he walked back over. And at this point, Brett had driven in. He had just gotten to the Thunderdome. He was there.
All right, we came straight here after driving for 9 hours because our buddy Craig is on a final table. I think he's like top 2 or 3 in chips for a bracelet in the 500 freeze out. Let's go.
And I turned to Brett and I told him what I heard. And I said, "He's not winning now."
And he opens. And I don't remember how many big blinds, but it didn't feel like a lot. And I had king queen. And I'm thinking, I can't outplay this guy. A, we're not very deep. B, he's better than me. So what's the best way to handle that? Put your chips in the middle. Make him have to have a hand. I had already raised him and got him to fold a pretty big hand previous to this, where he went to the tank for a long time, talked loud, didn't call, later said he should have called. So got back to him, he did not think long. And he called, and I don't even remember the hands. Oh my gosh, I can't remember them. I got it in bad. I got it in with like 30%. And I got lucky. I doubled my stack. And, you know, I could have easily been out of the tournament in 4th place. And I would have been fine with that. I wouldn't have regretted the decision. It would have been my biggest moment in poker history, but poker guys decided it wasn't going to happen. And now I have chips. We're still 4-handed.
And sure enough, he busted in 4th.
Man, this is so surreal. It's hard to feel like it's even real. But now, I mean, we're 3-handed. The chip stacks are almost all equal. I just gotta outplay these guys. I gotta dial in. I gotta focus. I gotta manage these pot sizes. We're so close. So close to the first bracelet. But either, you know, I'm gonna win the bracelet. But the moment's been great, so I'm just gonna savor it for right now.
If you looked at the body language of the 3 of us that were left, one guy is sitting there like he's sitting at Sunday brunch, just super relaxed. The other guy is drinking and having fun, and I was like in laser mode. I was so in my focus, drive, intense concentration mode, and we just played. I won a flip to knock out the 3rd place guy, and I got heads up with Tony. What a class act that guy is. He's a very experienced poker player, but doesn't play a lot of tournaments. So the advantage I have here is I've played heads up a lot in tournaments. He plays cash games, full ring, more than likely, and he plays deep stack. So we're short stacked and we're heads up.
We're heads up for a bracelet. Heads up for a bracelet. So, you know, it's the purest form of poker, one-on-one, and may the best man win, and it's what we've been dreaming for, what we've been dreaming of.
The first hand, he raises. I had aces on the first hand heads up, and I'm thinking, please have a hand, Tony, please have a hand. I re-raise, he folded. Second hand, I limp. My plan was to limp a lot. He raises, I folded. Turns out, he tells me weeks later, he had pocket queens. Third hand, I limped, he raised, I folded. Fourth hand, he raised, I folded. Fifth hand, he raised, I had pocket queens. And I stand up, and as he's turning the cards over, I see the ace first. And my first thought was, did I just run into it? Is this aces? Is this how it's going to end? And then I see the king, and I had this moment of relief, and then a moment of sheer panic. Again, I don't know the difference between first and second place. Later, when I thought back about it, I was like, the consequences. I've been in lots of coin flips. I've done lots of poker coin flips, but never for that kind of money. So it's pure fear.
Queen on the flop.
The flop comes, and the queen hits, and I fist bump. And I hear Tony say, "Put a jack on the turn," and I was like, "Oh my God, it's not over." He still has a straight draw. And then what I remember is it taking infinite amount of time for the dealer to put the turn card down.
Yeah, leading! Jack! Leading!
Jack.
Jack!
That's it.
I've been in enough competitive environments. I've been in enough championship games and big wrestling matches where at the end you shake your opponent's hand.
That's it.
It was a very emotional moment. I didn't quite tear up, but I felt like all the bad beats of the past were healed. All of the times in poker where I thought, I'm never gonna win. All of the time felt validated.
But when Craig fell down to his knees afterwards, that's exactly how I felt. Because it had actually happened. All of that pent up energy and passion and all of it, you know, he had won it. And it was incredible.
We knew he won that night. We were excited and congratulated him, but it wasn't until the next day that I pulled up social media and I got to see the video of him winning. And in particular, like once it was over, kind of like not falling to his knees, but he crouched down and there was just this moment of overwhelming emotion. And it was just so joyous to see that.
I gathered myself a little bit, and then I said, I was almost like, I kept saying, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, did this just happen? Well, then I went over to the rail, got hugs and high fives, and yeah, it really didn't sink in. And then, you know, you get to take the winners photos, and I always thought that'd be so cool to be in a winners photo with one of my friends. And I turn around, and Carlos is there. And there was no words, just a big hug, and it just made it so great that he was there because he's helped me along the journey for so long, and Brett being there and Dave being there, and Dan Kennedy and Gibber and Nan.
I mean, he's someone that deserves it. And so it's just great to see people that deserve it get it.
My wife says that you would have thought I won the event. I woke up everybody in my house.
He's won a bracelet, for God's sakes.
Just so happy for him and so proud of him, and just grateful that we'd had him join Rec.Poker the year before, because now we got to claim him as one of our own. And
I mean, this is a guy who has been loyally and blindly supportive of me for the better part of 7 years now. Anything I've ever needed, he's always been there. And a guy like that, man, you can't wish for somebody better than that to win it.
You know, it didn't sink in for a while, and still, on some level, it doesn't feel real, except, what, this little thing? I mean, it's real. It's real. It's real.
Next week on Chase the Dream, the crew descend on Durant, Oklahoma for the WSOP circuit while Rob kicks off his new live poker career.
I am a product of change. I brought the product in things, turning my L's into gains, channel the pain, looking to better the days. Yeah, you are a product of fear and the man in the mirror. You can't get away from them things, and I am aware, fully prepared. The devil he speaks. Yeah, and this what he said. You gotta get paid. Do what you gotta do. Get to the bag. Stay at your 9 to 5. Get on the avenue. You ain't cut out for them things. Yeah, you are not good enough. You are the type of got people that shouldn't love anyone knowing you know that you phony. You never cut out for this. You should just give it up. Yeah. But that's how they want me to feel. I am the man of the steel, king of the hill, man of the year. Finally feel like I got it for real, yeah.